But real quick, what I would like to do is just introduce everybody because everybody on the call is either a member or a very, very close affiliate of our division. So everybody wants to just introduce yourself and just mention how you're affiliated with Division 433.
Okay, my name is Akua Camus Harris, and I'm a member of UNIA, and I'm also a member of the Dory Miller Gun Club.
Oh,
Ashe. Brother Joe, your camera came up, so you might as well go next.
yes, sir. So my name is Joseph, and I joined UNIA on July 22nd of 2017. I'm currently in Europe right now.
All right.
And international Garveyism. Let's do it.
Okay. Brother, am I up, my brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was your second question?
Just what's your affiliation to our glorious division here in 433?
To what affiliation? To what, brother? I'm not. You're not coming through here. The affiliation to what? To
I'm sorry. You saying I'm too low?
I don't know.
It's too low. I'm sorry. I was asking for everyone to give a brief discussion about your affiliation with the UNIA.
With the UNIA, I got it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
yes, sir. I got
what's
it.
your affiliation with 433?
Okay. Yes. I got you. Yes, I'm Brother Rollins, Brother Brent Rollins, the interim president of the Dory Miller and Rifle and Pistol Club. And my affiliation is with UNIA, is that I've been a long supporter of them. Also, I have submitted, I have made out an application, which I have not yet submitted, but I will be doing that the next time I'm able to get with Brother Lyon. So I'll pass along to someone else.
Yes, sir. Race first, sir. Brother Arinze, talk to us, sir.
Yeah, race first.
Race first.
Yeah, I'm a member of UNIA-ACL, and although the Nigerian division has not been officially approved, even though we have written to the President General through the Rosemary and through the Honorable Minister of Information. We have written to them for them to approve our division, but up till now we have not gotten the approval. But I'm a full member of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Community List, and body and soul and blood, and I'm committed to the Negros movement. So also my brothers here in the country are also committed. So I'm a full member of the UNIA-ACL, and we are not going back. Just like we need our division to be officially approved so that we can know what we are doing and queue into the progress movements. So that's just it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I can assure you once again, my brother, that we are still working on that on my end. So I believe there's a couple other things that has to happen over my head. So please still remain patient with that and still continuing to work as you've been doing, brother. We appreciate you. Ashe. Okay, so let's see. Go for it. Let me mute mine. Go ahead.
Well, we didn't hear from Brother Dean up there.
Hi, good morning. Race first, everybody. This is the President lighting for Division 433, and it's an honor to be here to see everyone that's still putting in the work, regardless of what's going on in our current nation here. And just know that we're all together in this, and one God, one aim, one destiny. Race first.
Amen.
Ashe.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I do see the almighty Dean Mordecai on there. Brother Dean.
Yes, brother, yes.
You want to give a quick introduction?
Of myself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, race first.
My
name is Dean Mordecai Small. I'm from Toronto, originally from Jamaica. I just joined the UNIA 1 year ago, and I enjoyed it. As a little kid, I always watched my people being oppressed, and I'm just happy to be a part of this because It's great. And Marcus Garvey is a great man. First Jamaican national hero. I'm in the country since 1987. And that's it, man. That's it.
All right.
It's first, man.
My brother. I just saw a picture of our division secretary pop up. Is that who I saw?
Yeah. Race first, everybody.
Hey, sister, how you doing?
I'm okay. Race first. I am Kayla, but I do go by Queen Cheetah. So I am the secretary of Division 433. I joined the UNIA. I don't know, Lion. I don't know when I joined. Lion knows better than I do. About 4 years ago, maybe, possibly.
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, thanks to President Lion Blyden, getting me into the UNIA. Now that's all I do every day, 365, is wake up as a Garveyite, go to bed as a Garveyite, and I commit my mind, body, and soul, and I take that very seriously, and yeah, race first.
Race first. All right, now you better preach that gospel. I saw another dignitary pop on here. Longtime member, Brother DeWitt Lee.
Ashe. Race first, family.
Race first.
Race first.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity just to speak. I remember fondly memories of celebrating anniversaries in the past, of having distinguished guests from the parent body, including the Honorable Michael R. Duncan present. I remember being inspired by his leadership and his commitment to nation building. I am a proud member of Division 433 here in Buffalo, and I've been tasked with the honor and responsibility to expand the government into Canada, the place where I was born. And I know my brothers and sisters on the call who have visited us in Toronto and been putting in that work. And another highlight that I will say is part of our division history is a very ceremonious Marcus Garvey Earth Strong celebration at Toronto City Hall, with our flag raising, with our anthem singing, with the poem being recited, This Flag of Mine, with Dr. Julius Garvey present, as we revealed a very historical plaque that commemorates the location of the Liberty Hall that the Honorable Marcus Garvey himself and other Garveyites in Toronto established for us. And so I'm just proud to represent the Buffalo movement and excited about the resurrection and the reigniting of the Toronto UNIA. And I salute my brethren, Dean, who is also one of the founding members of our future Toronto division. Ashe.
Race first.
Race first.
Let's see here. I see another dignitary, longtime member, the Queen LV.
Mm-hmm.
You on mute, sweetheart.
Blessings, sisters, peace and love.
You want to let them know where you are right now, Queen?
I'm sorry, sir.
You want to let them know where you are right now?
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for permission to speak to my elders, to President Biden. I am here at the Fillmore Flea Market at 1870 Fillmore Avenue. I own a business called Adornments by L, and I am currently in on the call, but I'm setting up my space while I listen to the call. So yeah, this is more the meeting. I want to be respectful of the meeting, and I want to make sure that I stay on task and on topic. So I don't want to, be in here promoting my business. I really want to be here for what I'm here for, and I thank you for the opportunity to share. But yeah, I sell different jewelry and different spiritual items here at the flea market, and on 1870 Fillmore Avenue.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Let's go. And just to be clear, yes, please promote your business. Adornments by L. Go check her out at the Fillmore Flea Market.
Yeah,
all right. One more brother just came in, and then we can get started. Brother Dwayne, did you want to just do a quick introduction, sir?
Definitely. It's thank you so much. I just jumped in on the call here. I'm calling actually part of the soon to be Toronto chapter, and just an honor to be with other Garveyites. And I saw this opportunity to be on a call, so I said, let me just check in and see what's going on, and just want to wish everybody, happy Black History Month, and bless everyone today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, and welcome again.
So, Brother Blight, may I speak?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. I just want to congratulate the UNI on this in behalf of the Door Mill and Rifle and Pistol Club on your 6th anniversary of the UNI-ACL. Also, I would like to congratulate you, my brother. I understand you have been elevated to the position of Minister of Information, and that's something I've been inspired to do in terms of Dory Miller Rifle and Pistol Club. I have been inspired to do that, and I will one of these days. But appreciate you, brother. You're doing an excellent job, and congratulations on our fronts. All right, and thank you for inviting me to this event here.
What? No problem, and thank you very much, sir. It is the highest honor of my life to have received that appointment.
Yes, sir.
To be, first of all, just to be a part of the UNIA-ACL is an honor in itself. Like Sister Secretary said, we say our pledge, I commit my body, mind, and spirit to this thing here. And so to be appointed then president was an honor in itself. But to be elevated to the position of Minister of Information has, again, been the highest honor of my life. So I want to see, I'm not seeing her name. Is Sister Crystal here, our first Assistant President General? She may not be with us, but that's...
I'm here, and First Assistant Secretary General. Yes.
Well,
family, how's everyone doing?
Well, I am well.
Good.
And I am well also, Sister Crystal.
I'm sorry, Sister Crystal. Let me say that again. With us today, ladies and gentlemen, is our First Assistant Secretary General from the High Executive Council, Sister Crystal Jackson. She is also Executive Secretary of the official Division 330 Woodson Banneker Bay Division in DC. I apologize, Sister Crystal. Did you have an opening statement before we get started?
No, I just wanted to say that I'm happy to be here with you, family. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's wonderful that you're celebrating your anniversary as a division with the UNIA-ACL, the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League of the World. We are an international association of brothers and sisters, and it's wonderful to have you. We cherish our divisions, and we cherish all Garveyites. So thank you for having me as well.
Shay, race first.
Race first.
Well, we will, Sister LV is our resident songstress. She was going to sing our national anthem for us. We will not open with that. We're going to try and close with that a little bit later. So we will take an abbreviated opening approach. And if all of you will, just repeat after me. One God.
One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Race first all the time.
Race first.
Race first all the time.
All the time.
And all the time. Race first.
Race first.
All the time. Race
All the
first.
time. All the time. Race first.
Okay, so we can officially get started. Welcome, folks, to our 6th-year anniversary. I can tell you, folks, that it has been an interesting 6 years. We've had our ups and downs. We've had our lulls and our flatlines. However, we are still here, which is the most important thing. I want to send my deepest thanks to all of you that are participating today, and to all of those who will be listening in the future. What we do as Garveyites is we build on a foundation. So everything that you ever hear Garveyites talk about is never for the immediate. It's always for planning for the future. So let us. You know what? Yes, Sister LV. You know what? Let's do it. Sister LV, just let me know that she's able to bring us in with our national anthem. So now that we have that opportunity, let's just go ahead and take that. So if you got a flag on and face it, please lift your right fist to the air. And Sister LV, you could take it away.
Ethiopia, the land of our father, the land where the gods love to be. As storm clouds and night suddenly gather, arms come rushing to thee. We must in the fight be victorious, and swords are thrust outward to gleam. For us will the victory be glorious, when led by the red, black, and green. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Advance to beat the foe, advance to beat the foe, with the might of the red, the black, and the green, with the might of the red, the black, and green.
Come on. Race first?
Lovely.
Race first.
It's
Race
first.
first?
Ashe first.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Come on. Well, now we can begin properly, huh? Okay. Let us go back to our slideshow. All right. So this year is our 6th year. Hold on a second. I think we're having a bit of an issue there. 6-year anniversary. We started in 2015. I remember we were trying to, we were learning about Marcus Garvey. We were studying Black history. We were meeting different master teachers and learning about them, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen. We were listening to Runoko Rashidi and Dr. Kaba Khomeini, Booker T. Coleman. If you don't know who Kaba Khomeini is, he had the Per Ankh Academy. And I remember he came to Buffalo and in our early times, before we were even a division, and he suggested that we take his curriculum and use it to teach our people so we can learn from that. Learn African history from African sources. He and Anthony Browder were key in teaching that message. Just making sure that if we're going to speak about African issues, we must get our information from African sources. Otherwise, we know for sure that most likely the information will be tainted. So that was our motivation. So we were determined to try and find the history of Marcus Garvey here in Buffalo. So we looked around and we did find that Garvey was here, that we did have a division. It was division number 79. Our first president in 1920, Cornelius McKnight, founded the division, and we had over 500 members in the beginning. When Garvey came to speak, he spoke to people, to masses over 1,000 strong each time he came. He actually came one time on my birthday, October 14th. So when we saw that there was 1,000 members at one point, we decided that we were going to try and find them. And we saw how some of them were written out of history, sometimes mostly on purpose. We found that they tried to, when they would speak about Garveyites from Buffalo, they wouldn't speak about the fact that they were members. They would talk about all their other accolades, but they would never mention their Garveyite affiliation. So we definitely, that was teaching true African history from Buffalo. It was our goal to make sure that whatever we found on there, we put out to be distributed to the people. So local Black history, local Garveyite history has always been the foundation for this division. We will be, we have decided we're going to rename our division, and you see Montgomery-Burrows is the name. Having a couple issues here with my screen share. I will get into the presentation a little bit later as far as why we chose those names. But before we get there, I wanted to let you guys know that we do have our new TV show. It is The Negro Voice. Clearly the name comes from the Negro World newspaper and our current magazine that's out now that you can get from our website, which is called The Garvey Voice. So because the new The two things we had previous were print media. We decided to match the two names for our social media and video media venture. So as the Ministry of Information, our division now runs the Negro Voice TV show. So all of you, if you have any type of thing that you want to promote, talk about dealing with Garveyism or just Black uplift, let me know and we can try and get it on the show. Like Brother BJ was saying earlier, this year, well, actually last year, in this past year, I was nominated and appointed Minister of Information for the entire UNIA-ACL. It has been the greatest honor of my life to make it to that position, to be thought of, to be even someone that can take that position. My father, actually, Herbert X. Blyden, when he was a participant in the Attica uprising, he was Minister of Information for the Attica brothers. And so just that coincidental distinction is honored by default. So I do take high pride and high honors in that. And I just wanted to make sure folks know that this is now the Ministry of Information. So moving forward, we will have a brief presentation from our Lady President, Sophia Blyden, our head of the Black Cross Nurses.
Race first, everyone. We're talking about when we all started to become Garveyites. This is our anniversary. I remember when I first became a Garveyite in 2015, and my first thing was, did we have nurses? Finding out that we actually had nurses that were initiated mostly in 1918 due to the Spanish flu pandemic. It came to us and, came to our ancestors. They decided, you know what? They're not going to take care of our community. So we have to take care of our own community. So that is where the Universal African Black Cross Nurses started. We weren't in their schools. We were not allowed in their schools. So we had to teach our own schools and graduate our own nurses. We would come together and we would share different ideas, different recipes, different medicines. And then we put it together in a handbook and passed it out for our nation, because this is about nation. When I look back and we talk about the history of the Buffalo Garveyites, number 79, the only story we could really find initially was about a burning of a house of the Black Cross nurses. They had an accident, cooking, so all those made me be like, okay, there has to be more. And there was more. We had clinics, we had doctors' offices, and, that was very inspiring for me, because I went to be a nurse for my people. I always tell everyone, I am a nurse all the time, but I'm a race-first nurse all the time. Because I feel like when they come in to the offices or the hospitals, they get taken care of by their race first. Why shouldn't I do the same for my race? My inspiration that I see for our Garveyites standing on my ancestors' shoulders is we have to rebuild this. So my decision was to go back to school, become a healthcare administrator, so I can open up a clinic for our people. But I believe for us to start somewhere, we start where we are. Is that we do not put our people in nursing homes. That is not something we do. We are a people that take care of our people up until death. And so what I think we should do is start in the community and going into the homes, just like our historical Garveyites did. and take care of our people, regardless if they can pay or not. This is about service to our people. And in the end, everything else will come. But we have to start somewhere. And as a matter of fact, not even start somewhere. It was already started. Now it's our turn to build. And to take it further, you know, one of the initiatives that we took was we were teaching about sanitizing. We were going into the schools. We were teaching the children about safe hand washing and the correct way to wash their hands, because of one of the things we realized were people did not know how to wash their hands. They didn't understand that washing your hands is the first way to stop any spread of infection and viruses. So we had decided that we were going to get some soaps and hand sanitizers to start passing out into the schools. And what happened? Here come COVID. When COVID started and it finally started saying that there was COVID and it was a pandemic, we already, the UNIA-ACL, Universal African Black Cross Nurses of the World, had already started with our hand sanitizers and soaps initiatives. So when it first started and they could get no hand sanitizers, we actually had some on hand to be able to hand it out to the community. We made sure that it was available at a Black-owned store at the Ink Spot and Flea Market, Fillmore Flea Market. We made sure that it's there for the people. This is what our ancestors have started and left for us to do, and it is our opportunity to build on it. Then we also created the Universal African Black Cross Nurses Handbook. This is a study guide that came up with for our people in the community. There are so many things that we have in home that we could use on hand when things happen. And if we had something right there that could make sure that we can just look into our homes, a lot of people don't even know that they can just put a spoonful of sugar in some water and raise their blood sugars. Some people don't even know that what to look for to see when someone is about to be having an attack, whether for high blood pressure. A lot of people don't even know that when they're having a headache, it might be high blood pressure. These are things we have to make sure our community knows, and it's up to us to let them know, because nobody else gonna do it. We can't depend on anybody else to do it. That has been proven to us over and over. So while we're here, like the Sister Secretary Kayla said, I wake up a Garveyite. I go to sleep as a Garveyite. And I will live my life fighting for the health, mental health, and feeding my people, because that is what I'm called to do. Race first all the time, and all the time, race first.
Ashay. Special thanks to Our Lady President. Salute, salute, salute. Here you see on the screen is some of the things that she was speaking about: the study guide, our coming up clinic, the hand sanitizer, and the soap, the 433 Clean Initiative. And so, Sister Lady President, we appreciate all the work that you do, because I can promise you, everybody that's listening right now, without Our Lady President, without Our Lady President, we would not be a division. I can promise you that. Many people see me more, but listen, let me put my camera on so you can understand how serious I am. Many people see me more than you see some of our other members, but without the work of Our Lady President, we would not be a division. So, Sister Lady President, thank you very much, and race first.
Race first. Thank you. Indeed, that was amazing. And and Minister Lyon.
Yes.
If I may just, and I don't know if you plan on getting it, but I would like to just pay tribute to not only Lady President and her incredible work, but I also just wanted to point out the name of the community clinic after your mother and just pay tribute to her and honor her as you honored your father earlier in the beginning of this. That, you know, there's a lot of things that wouldn't be in place without her contributions as well. So I just wanted to raise up our ancestor and salute her.
You better speak on it, because I can tell y'all that's a whole other discussion. I wouldn't be without her, not just by birth. I wouldn't even have survived as an adult without that lady constant counsel. She transitioned in 2018. So yeah, man, salute to the Queen for sure, Mother Empress. All right, moving forward. The tour and the documentary. We have partnered with Buffalo and Western New York African American History Group, run by Michelle Regland. It's on Facebook. Many people are members. I think Mother Akua, I believe you're a member of that group on Facebook. A lot of Buffalo people who have left Buffalo but look back fondly at Buffalo. They go there first to find just certain historical stuff that the sister has done. She's amazing. She does amazing work. You see there that we've given her awards for her work. And a lot of the history that we have found and that we have put together, we wouldn't have been able to do without her assistance. So the Buffalo UNIA-ACL Historical Society relies heavily on the Buffalo and Western New York African American History Group and Sister Regland's research. The tour that we have done before, but we are revamping for the historical Garveyite district. Okay, if you see the map there, those are just a few of the locations that the Garveyites from Division 79 were in. So you will see, you know, we had the 2 grocery co-ops, the 2 different black-owned banks, 3 or 4 different doctors' offices, including the Women's and Babies Clinic. I'm forgetting all types of things. People's homes. Sister Lady President was just speaking about our Black Cross nurses from Division 79. Mother Irene Freeland had her home was where the Black Cross nurses school was here in Buffalo. So when we had several clinics going, the Garveyites supplied the nurses straight out of Mother Freeland's home. So again, when the Red Cross would not hire Black nurses, the Black Cross stepped in to create and to serve our people. So everyone who follows in that lineage, we salute. Another, just a trivia note, if you've ever seen the movie Hoodlum, Vanessa Williams plays Garveyite Francine in that movie with Lawrence Fishburne and Cecily Tyson. And you'll see several times in the movie she's even dressed as a Black Cross nurse, giving, I think it was cans of food out of the soup kitchen behind the truck, because that's what we do. We meet our people where they are, and we service them. Without that, there is no Garveyism. All about the work. So earlier, you guys met my brother Brent. So Brother Brent, did you have something that you wanted to say in depth about the Dory Miller Pistol and Rifle Club, and what do you see as a necessity for us dealing with pistols and rifles?
Okay, thank you for that, brother. Appreciate the opportunity. First, let me say something a little bit about Dory Miller, who Dory Miller was. Okay, this is Black History Month, as we're all aware. Every month should be Black History Month, as we're all aware. Every year should also. Having said that, I'll get right to the point. Doris Miller, known as Dory, was collecting laundry aboard the battleship USS West Virginia when Japanese attacked the American fleet at Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. He vaulted to the bridge where he aided the ship's mortality, wounded captain. He fired on Japanese planes with an anti-aircraft gun that, as a servant, he had not been trained to use. He pulled men who were otherwise have died from the burning cold waters of the harbor. He was one of the last sailors to leave the founding ship. Now he received the Navy Cross for that, and later in his life, to bring it up to date, they have recently named a ship in his honor, which will be, I guess it will be put into the water or completed in the year 2032. That's quite an accomplishment because the community has been working hard to get him honored in the way that he should be honored. And I think this is totally appropriate. It will be a up-to-date 1932. It might even fly. That's a long ways off. But in any case, it's not a battleship. It's an aircraft carrier. And maybe again, looking into the future, it may be carrying flying saucers or something of that nature. But I think it's a beautiful thing that he's been honored in that way. In terms of Dory Miller and Rifle and Pistol Club, I'm going to read a little bit from our official position, if it's okay with everyone. Okay if I read this here?
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. This is the Dory Miller Rifle and Pistol Club, founded under the leadership of Akil Kadir, stands by the position that firearms are for self-defense and sport, not for intimidation and homicide. We strongly condemn random violence as reprehensible and unacceptable. We support and encourage citizens and police who see something to say something. We support firearm ownership and carry by responsible, mature community members who undergo background checks. We encourage people to be properly trained in firearm safety and proficiency. We educate the community on the historical and current issues regarding firearms as they relate to the African American community. We support other community organizations delivering a positive message for change, such as the UNIA-ACL. We support police who act in the best interest of our community and not those who abuse their authority. We welcome all who understand and share our vision. We share our sorrow and condolences with the community for the injuries and the murders caused by gun violence within our own community. So basically, that's our 10-point position. And anybody has any questions they want to ask, feel free to do, if that's allowed, brother minister.
It is. If anybody has any questions for Brother Brent and the Dory Miller Pistol and Rifle Club. I have a question. Is it rifle and pistol or pistol and rifle? I know I've been mixing that up.
Rifle and pistol.
Rifle and pistol. Gotcha. Okay. So to that point, to the things that the brother was saying, in our pledge to the UNIA-ACL, to the red, black, and green, it tells us that we commit our body, minds, and spirit to the defense, protection, and security of our people. In doing so, you heard the brother, one of the points was self-defense. Okay, so when we talking about self, we're not talking about individuals, people. As Garveyites, we're talking about the world. We're talking about all of our people, no matter where we domicile. Marcus Garvey said, at home and abroad. Africa for the Africans, at home and abroad, meaning we must protect those people no matter where we are domiciled. If somebody's floating on a raft in the middle of the ocean, that's a person that is out. Ashe. So here on the screen, you see a couple points that I wanted to touch on. Brother Brent brought up their position on teaching education, gun laws, gun safety, and gun responsibility. That is the solution for our people. When we see these situations where our children are out in the streets shooting at each other, part of the issue is they don't have a certain level of respect for the machine that they are using, let alone the lack of respect for life. When we talk about it takes a community to raise a child, we have to understand how to govern that community, that village. And if we don't have the village, we have to build it and then protect it. And all of that is dealing with especially in these times, gun laws, gun safety, and gun responsibility. When we see these people right now, these police, you know what I'm saying? Just now in Rochester, they just pepper sprayed a little girl, but they didn't have the same response for any of the insurrectionists on January 6th. It was actually, I saw somebody in a wheelchair that they was wheeling out. Someone else that they walked down the stairs hand in hand to make sure they didn't fall. Yet when they're dealing with our children, they could kill them and spray mace on them. This is not the first time I've seen children maced or abused at the hands of law enforcement. I always make a reference to Robert F. Williams. He wrote a book called Negroes with Guns. His example that he lived, he didn't just write about it. The example that he lived, I always bring up the example of the time that he wanted the children of his area to stop having to swim in the river where there were several drownings and to be able to swim in the city pool. And the city wouldn't let black children swim in the pool. They said they would have to drain it. It would cost too much money. So Robert F. Williams created the Black Guard, went down to the pool, armed, and protected the children as they swam in the city pool that their tax dollars paid for. The police chief did not cross over into the areas where Robert F. Williams and the Black Guard patrolled because there was no internal crime there. There was no black-on-black violence, quote unquote, for them to even be inside the area. A point that I keep trying to make is that if we don't have a community, nothing should move in our communities if they don't come talk to us first. Mm-hmm. The only way to make sure that happens is for us to be strong enough in numbers. Okay, not necessarily, you know what I'm saying, everybody just be armed and looking tough. But when we have enough numbers where they recognize the constituency is that they won't come into certain areas and do certain things. Let's just say that. So another one of our partnerships you see here is with FAST Western New York. They do pistol permit classes. They also have supplies and pistols and rifles that you can purchase. So you can check them out at fastwesternnewyork.com. So Brother Brent, Mother Akua, you are a member of Dory Miller. Did you want to say something before we move on to something else?
Yes, I want to say that I think it's very important that our young people know how young Dory Miller was, because he did not live that long. You know, he really didn't. He died November 24th, 1943. He was born on October 12th, 1919.
Wow.
So for him to get the Navy Cross for Valor in that short span of his life, he did some incredible things, you know. He felt compelled at that moment of war and attack to put forth his best foot and defend this country and defend that ship. And that is what he did. So when we look at it, and I want to bring up the insurrection of on the 6th, because in this country, we have been for a long time defending America and usually been the first. We watched that brother who led those those insurrectionists along the wrong corridor. That brother did that. When they were attacked by the British Army, Crispus Attucks, another brother was the first one to die in that war. You know, and we have other firsts, you know, like that, you know. So we have to remember that we've been fighting for this country for a very long time. Vietnam, all those wars, it's not a war that's been fought that we were not in that war for America. Fighting people who had never done anything to us now, but we were there because we felt compelled to be American citizens. I call that some misguided direction. I don't know what other people call it. And then there came time for us to fight for ourselves in the 60s that I know of, but we've been fighting long before that. We look at Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, all those who have gone before us. We have a history of fighting for our people and to raise them up into being the people they should be, and also being recognized for their contributions to this country. So when we talk about Marcus Garvey, he straddles that. The reason he straddles it is because Marcus Garvey saw fit that we should be a people, a nation, not just a people, but a nation of people, you know, in our own right, and that we should be free, and that we should own, our freedom, not connected to America, not connected to anything, but connected to each other. And we needed to find that connection ourselves to our homeland of Africa, which is what he was trying to do. So these things that we've done over the years, we need to now begin to really teach our young people that. It's sad when young people lose their way and they have no pride in their history because they don't know their history. And we cannot depend on anyone to teach that. But when we say race first because the history of your race comes first. If there's no history, there's no race. We have race first because we have historical precepts for us to follow and look at that honors that road that we've come down as a people. And it wasn't an easy road. It was a hard road. And so we need to really start telling those stories. And we really need to start gathering our young people at younger ages, you know, when they're like 4 and 5 years old, and begin to tell them stories that they can understand at that age level. Bring them up with our history ingrained in them, because that's what the Jewish people do. That's what the Italian people do. Never forget who you are, no matter what country you live in. Recognize the greatness of your ancestors. That's all I got to say.
You better preach, mother.
Straight up. Ashe.
Ashe, man.
Whew, how you go after that? I don't know. I'm gonna try it. Let's see. that was it right there. You better preach. Mother Akua has always given us in our division excellent guidance and eldership, and we always appreciate that. So just moving forward again. So our next piece here, we also have a connection and a partnership with New Day Resurrection, Sister Mother Empress Chi. She's the sister that created the Millions Women's March in 1997. And you see her little blurb here. You know what I'm saying? She's a visionary architect and sole founder of the historic Million Women March, and president of the Million Women March Universal Movement. All right, International Million Women March Movement, as well as New Day's Resurrection Blog Talk Radio. So if you get a chance. She was debating whether she was going to be able to make it with us today. But if you get a chance, please check out her radio show. It's Blog Talk Radio, New Day Resurrection and Liberation. It's an excellent forum for real topics and real organization and real networking. Dealing with women and liberation. She's got a piece where she's dealing with women, lesser known women from our history that have done so much. So just like Mother Akua was just saying, folks that deserve recognition and folks that should be propped up, like Garvey said, it's time for us to create our own martyrs and our own heroes. And the work Mother Empress Chi has done in that aspect is great. So our division has partnered with them to move forward in the networking and liberation of our people. The next part that I wanted to discuss is the name. So let's discuss our name change. So you see Montgomery-Burrows, division number 433. Why Montgomery-Burrows? Well, let's go in reverse. Burrows is for the Honorable Percival L. Burrows. He was born in Barbados, immigrated to the United States in 1904, and he was described by the Negro world as a self-made man. He rose quickly through the UNIA ranks after he became a member of Buffalo's Division number 79 on the 16th of December 1920. He established a small newspaper called the Voice of Buffalo as the organ of Division 79, possibly to counter the anti-Garvey material that was being published in the Buffalo American and other newspapers here in the city, we found. The Buffalo UNIA sent Burrows as one of its delegates to the 1921 UNIA convention. And there he caught the notice of Garvey and the national leadership. Burrows became High Commissioner for the islands of Trinidad, Tobago, St. Vincent and Grenada, as well as for Brazil and Venezuela. Under his leadership, the UNIA established 21 new divisions in that region. Garvey promoted Burrows to first Assistant Secretary General of the UNIA parent body to replace Thomas W. Anderson in August 1923. So just like you heard our illustrious current secretary, first Assistant Secretary General, Brother Percival Burrows shared that same position. And here you see two of his Black Star Line certificates. Also, you see that picture there. You may not notice if you don't look carefully. Let's see. You see Brother Percival Burrows peeking out from behind Mother Amy Jacques Garvey as they christened, I believe this was the Frederick Douglass that they were christening. So you see the champagne bottle getting ready to get smashed against their back. And there's Percival Burrows making sure that we find him now in the future. And so, yeah, so there you see two of his Black Star Line certificates. We were able to acquire them. You see they were, what are they, $5 a piece, which is exponential now. I'm not sure how much that is now, but he had several. These were the only ones that were able to be salvaged. So when you see he created, or he was under his leadership, 21 new divisions arose. When we talk about the 6 to 11 million members the UNIA had, this is why. Because, like the preamble said, we are an institutional, constructive, and expansive society, meaning the goal is to bring people into the government, bring them to the understanding, as well as the physical being of joining with our people in that nation that Mother Akua was just speaking about. Race first. So let's move forward. So you see Brother Percival Burrows looking super sharp right here in his uniform. First Assistant Secretary General Crystal Jackson, we got to get you in one of these uniforms. This was the First Assistant Secretary General uniform at the time. Everything. He was on a delegation mission here in this picture. I believe it was to Honduras, but I'm not sure. I have to double check on that. But he was also the president of several different unions here in the city of Buffalo as well. So he's a very influential man here in the city. You see here he was the president of the Dining Car and Pullman Car Employees Union, the local number 598. He was also the president of at least 3 other unions that I could find. You see here he would always write in the different local newspapers that we had. Not only did he have his own newspaper, but he would write articles, and I think they're called op-eds or whatever, for other local newspapers. We had several members that were on the board and were actually chief editor of the Buffalo American. And so I believe that was during the time when he was writing for them. So here you see the, sorry, trying to let people in and clicking the wrong stuff. All right, you see the letter he wrote to the editor of the Buffalo American. We don't have to read all that, but if you want to get a chance, I can send you all of this stuff. But you see here at this time, he was living on 45 Cedar Street, and that was the location of the Voice of Buffalo newspaper. So he was actually running that newspaper out of his house. Here you see Brother Clyde Berry, who's actually Brother Percival Burrows' son, a famous baritone singer from out of New York City. And you see the singing Red Cap. So he was involved with the Red Cap movement. Same thing with the dining car and Pullman car employees as his father. And here we have a letter that was written to us from his daughter, Leota Henry Burrows, and that's her picture down there at the lower right. She wrote a wonderful letter to us for our history book. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I can tell you that, as a matter of fact, I'll read the first part here to you. He was born, no, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. I'll just give you a synopsis. Basically, you know, like I was just telling you about how he was able to develop the different divisions and things like that. He was also a family man. He was also so influential that he was moved to New York City by the UNIA to do other international organizing work. Okay, and you see, he was heavily involved in his church and made sure he always instilled race first into his children. And one quote that always stood out to me in this was that he was always heard saying, Ethiopia will rise again. That was his saying that he would say all the time. Next, you see Queen Mother Rosa Montgomery. She was Lady President of the UNIA Division 79. She also graduated from the Maloney School of Beauty Culture, and she opened her own hair salon at 268 Spring Street here in Buffalo. She was involved as Lady President, she was in charge of all of the women's events and most of the entertainment style events that the division put out. She was also head of the juniors division and taught the children Garveyism. So you see here, she was also president of the Empire Athletic Association, which I thought was interesting because as well as the National Hair Association, she was the president of that as well. The Empire Athletic Association was Buffalo's, she was the president of Buffalo chapter of that. And the UNIA had our own cricket team. Okay, I guess cricket was big back then. So the Empire Athletic Association and the Empire Cricket Club were predominantly Garveyites, and we were champions, which I thought was awesome. They wrote about cricket matches often. Henrietta Vinton Davis and Lady President Rosa Montgomery went to a couple cricket matches together, or at least one that I could find. All right, you see they had dances that was hosted by the Empire Athletic Club as well as Garveyites. And you see down here at the bottom right, her husband, John Montgomery, ran a carting business. And he used to transport coal, ice, and other deliveries. And there's his phone number. I always thought that was cool, the phone number for back in the day. His number was 387M. Okay, let's see. Oh, I apologize. One other thing. He was also an iron worker and a porter. One of the major jobs that black men had back in the day was a porter, pullman, and dining car employee. So a lot of the Garveyite message traveled along the train line. So just like today we have the internet, etc., and viral memes, that's how Garvey's message was spread through the country. The people would gather together because we had no other choice but to be together. Because of the nature of the work of train car employees, you would be in different cities every night. And so you had a chance to meet different people and share different stories. Just one other note with that's the same way that Garvey's voice or the Negro world got transported to Africa. So many people would travel through on the boats to Africa. And while they did that, they would basically smuggle the Negro world because it was banned. They would have it memorized by one of the locals, and the locals would go take it back to the villages and share the message of Garveyism. So share the message however you can. Remember, it is an expansive society. So let's move forward if I can. I think I skipped 2. There we go. Okay, so here we see one of her obituaries. This right here was from the Buffalo Criterion, I believe. And this is Rosa Montgomery right here in the very front. You can see right here with the glasses. All right, it's a luncheon. And the article says the first top Democratic leadership of the Ellicott District is shown lunching together. Although this scene is from the 50s, at left is Rosa Montgomery, sister of evangelist Henry Hall. She was the first Black woman to become involved in politics in the mid-20s. She was an officer in the Criterion's Booker T. Washington GOP Club and one of the first leaders to turn Democrat in the early 30s. The others are Councilman King Peterson, the late Ed Bennett, former Councilman Leland James, and the late Mrs. Ed Bennett. And that article is written by T.C. Cool in the Buffalo Criterion. And you see she was the sister of the evangelist Henry Hall, which is a favorite topic of our sister Michelle Ragland in the Buffalo, Western New York African American History Group, because Reverend Hall was a major figure here in the city as far as local clergy. All right, he was a well-known inner city community street evangelist. Okay, so just like Garvey used to stand on the street corners and preach, you can see a picture of him there standing on a literal soapbox. Let's see if I can zoom into that. right here at the top there. On the corner. Oh, I wish I knew which corner that was. I wish Sister Michelle
the corner of Pratt and something, isn't it?
Say that again.
Is that the corner of Pratt?
I literally have no idea. We will find. Trust me, I'm going to find out.
Below upper left, 1949, conducting a. It says Williams. That's William Street. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's right there.
I think it's Pratt and William.
Pratt
and William.
Pratt and William
Street.
Street. It's right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So now we know where it was. Sweet. So yeah, this was the brother of Our Lady President Rosa Montgomery. Here is an article about all of the different political activists or politicians as well, and a dinner that they all were at. And you see Mrs. Montgomery's name is listed several times, as well as Frank Merriweather Sr. And here's another group, same type of discussion about the different politicians coming together. Martha Washington Unit, which Montgomery was a part of. And here's her obituary, where she passed away due to illness. So one of the things that struck us when we wanted to reach to the ancestors to name our division after ancestors, because most divisions have a ancestor name. When you see Sister Crystal came on, her division is Woodson Banneker Bay. Woodson Banneker Jackson Bay division. Okay, in honor of ancestors that were important to that local division in that area. All right. So we wanted to memorialize these two ancestors for all of the work that they have done locally here in the city. The effect that they had has been felt continuously up until today, whether people realize it or not. You see, it is true that she was the first Black woman involved in politics. So when we talk about women leadership and we talk about getting our vote heard and being anything political, dealing with Black women here in the city of Buffalo, the first move towards that was Sister Rosa Montgomery back in the 1920s. Okay, and then Brother Percival Burrows was so influential here that when he did leave, his influence continued, because we always, after he left, we continued having our own media pushing out information specifically to the Black community. And so we're going to forever honor them. And 45 Cedar Street and 268 Spring Street, we are working on getting historical status, although they are occupied current. A couple honorable mentions. When we did try and figure out what we were going to name the division, we were looking through different ancestors, trying to figure out who would be best to fit. We did decide that we were going to only have two, so it was a little bit of a difficult decision. The first one that we looked to was Lillian T. Willis. She actually was division secretary and ended up becoming the international organizer for the UNIA-ACL, traveling with Garvey around the world. And you see here, based on reports, when she went to Denver with Garvey, based on reports, she won the division's hearts and soul with her graciousness and answered questions pleasantly and patiently. So she must have been a joy to be around for Garvey to bring her with him and actually speak in place of him in certain instances. So she was one of the people that we were thinking about naming the division after, as well as Dr. Theodore Kakaza, who was one of the first 4 Black doctors here in Buffalo. He also ran the Women's and Babies Clinic that was run by Garveyites. He also was a Fingo prince, South African Fingo prince, and still decided to come to Buffalo after being educated and running his own practice in Indianapolis. He came here and had 2 different clinics here in the city. The only reason we did not choose them because we wanted to choose ones that had the most influence here in the city of Buffalo. So that's how we got to Montgomery-Burrows Division number 433. Ashe. So with that, Are there any questions, comments, or concerns before we close out our wonderful event today?
Oh, let's see. I've got a comment to make, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I think it's excellent that you're doing. You're changing the name and honoring some local icons. That's a beautiful thing. And I have to. You have my support and the support of Dory Miller Rifle and Pistol Club to do that. So much luck with that, and hopefully that it will get you the attention that you deserve, really. Okay, but now going back to something we discussed before, we talked about the gun violence of our youth. Okay, can I speak on that briefly, my brother? We got time for that?
Please do.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Sister Akua is, if I may say so, well, Sister Akua, she's a liaison between the MVP, the Most Valuable Parents, and the Dory Miller Rifle Club. What the Most Valuable Parents are trying to do is they're trying to reverse a law which states, it's called the Tayar Amendment. It states that there is no way to trace gun from the origin of the manufacturer to the child or the individual who shoots someone on the street, uses a gun illegally. Okay, now that sounds kind of whack. I'm quite sure if you think about it, that's whack. I mean, why would there be such a law? We know why it is, to protect gun manufacturers and certain politicians. However,
what's the name of the law, brother?
Tayart law. Tiahart. I believe he's a congressperson, and he's the one who put forth this law, and it is in place right now. So as you can see, that is an impediment to trying to control I call it fratricide. Some people call it homicide, murder and stuff, but I call it fratricide. When two people of the same ethnic community or racial community kill one another, it's a brotherly effect. I mean, it's brother against brother. Let me put that way. That's what fratricides mean. But in any case, having said that, this is something that we at Dory Miller Rifle Pistol Club and the MVP are very concerned about, and myself as Brent J. Rollins is very concerned about it, especially when I hear that a 70-year-old woman sitting up in her house gets shot by some foolish, reckless, gunfire in her neighborhood, which probably was not intended to her, but maybe intended for someone else, or maybe they're just shooting off because they can. Any case, I just want to share, because you did bring that up. You did mention the MVP in one of your earlier slides, and that's something that should be very concerning to, and I'm sure it is concerning to all of us. So they're working very hard under the leadership of Mr. Dobbins, Neil Dobbins. Is that correct, Sister Akua?
That is correct. Yes. Yeah.
And Sister Akua she is our liaison and keeps us informed on that level. So having said that, that's all I have to say right now. Unless somebody else speak, I don't want to take it.
Well, we appreciate that, my brother. And just for clarity, can you spell that name one more time?
I believe it's Tiahart. Amendment. The amendment to the Constitution or whatever.
Got you. Okay, I see it now. Okay.
You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because one of the factors is they talk about assault weapons, but you notice they never mention firearms, because it's firearms that are killing our young Black people all across this country. You know, we have more handguns in our community, illegal handguns, than we have anything else. And those guns are in the hands of young people that don't even understand the purpose of a gun. It's for self-protection, not for when you get angry and you just say, I'm gonna kill somebody in an instant, and you go out and do that, and then your life is ruined. So there's a whole education piece about handguns that really need to begin to be talked about in our community. And parents really need to step up to the plate also, because we're losing some of our best and our brightest under this scourge of gun violence, you know. And it should not be happening, you know. And it will not stop happening. Let me tell you something. Do you see how quickly they came together when their kids were overdosing and dying?
Yes.
They instantly put things into place to save their kids' life, even give their children places to go and have drugs or be safely using the drugs. We want to do the same thing with gun violence in our community. When they start that educational process with their kids, telling them how they could protect themselves from overdosing, and they made the police carry the needle that they could save the kid's life and all this here stuff, and then they could have this product on themselves, so that if they were getting high together, they would have a means of saving their friend or someone from overdosing. We have to come up with a means of saving our kids from handgun violence. Letting kids know that handgun is not for you to use on one another. That's how you aid and abet our continuous enslavement in America. It's meant for you to have to protect yourself from a real enemy, not your brother, not your sister, not to fire aimlessly into a crowd and just kill people. You have to know how to use a handgun properly. And that's what we want to start a campaign on that. As much as they need to be removed from the community too, to a certain extent, we also need young people to understand the purpose of guns.
Shay, you are definitely correct on that. Definitely correct on that. One of the things that I always talk about, remember, I don't know if you guys remember offhand, but the first presentation I gave with you guys was on the Second Amendment. And my point then is something that I still want people to understand, is that, you know, we get caught up in trends and things like that. And we hear white folks running around talking about Second Amendment laws, et cetera, et cetera. But when they talking about Second Amendment, they're not just talking about gun ownership.
That's right.
They're talking about the rest of it that's in the Second Amendment, dealing with a well-organized militia, a well-regulated militia. And so when you see a well-regulated militia attack the capital of the country, right, you see what they were talking about the whole time. And if you really watch, they were waving the Second Amendment flags, et cetera. So
that's right.
As far as we are concerned, as the government of our own people in that nation, that worldwide nation, that we need to make sure that our communities are organized. If the children never see us teaching about gun violence or gun safety, gun laws, and gun responsibility, they will never learn it. And then they will emulate us and don't learn it to teach it to anybody else. So we have to create the school that teaches it. And the same thing for everything. Everything that our people are going through, we need to create a system to service it. And it's just that simple. And that is our goal with the UNIA-ACL Montgomery-Burrows division. We are at the end of our presentation here today, and I want to just thank everyone for your participation and your time. And for all of you that are working towards the uplift of our people, we thank you for your works. So with that, I will end in the words of our glorious ancestors. One God.
One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Race first all the time.
Race first
all the time. All the time.
All the time, race first.
All the time, race first.
Go well and be great, family. Peace.
Congratulations, 433.
Asante Sana.